Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call. Kobelak, Dallas Kelsey. If anybody sees Dallas Kelsey in the public, it is his 79th birthday today, so we gave him an excuse not to come to this meeting to celebrate his 79 years. Corneffel's here, Bringard's here, Bletcher is here, and we have Assistant Chief Davenport with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
We thank you for stopping by and visiting us. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
Move approval.
Move by Jerry, is there support?
Second.
Second by Bletcher. Questions, comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Approval of the minutes from August 2023. They're in your packet. If they meet with your approval, I'll need a motion. If there's any modifications, make those, and we will address them as we go.
Move we approve.
Moved by Bringard. Is there support?
Second.
Second by Bletcher. Questions and comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion carried. Expenses. Assistant Chief. Expenses. Approval of expenses report. Is there anything that you'd like us to add, or would you add as it relates to the expense report for August of 2023?
No, sir. Everything lines up as appropriately.
All right. Are there any questions from the commission with regards to the expenses for August of 2023? And if not, a motion to approve them would be in order. Moved by Bringard. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Bletcher. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Discussion items. Assistant Chief.
Yes, sir. We were proud to host 2 hiring events this month. As you know, we're actively recruiting. Those brought us in 1 extra firefighter, female Nicole Gall. She lives over on Rucker. She's in starting EMS class already, and along with a new hire over the summer. So we have 2 in EMS class. We also have 2 over the last few months that took their EMS class and they're starting fire programs also currently. We're also excited to bring on 3 new sergeants from our group. We're brought up. We currently have Sergeant Roscoe. We brought up Sergeant Jake Gonzalez, Sergeant Andrew Huber, and Sergeant Ted Copley. We are announcing an open house that we're hosting on October 1st from 12 to 4 at the fire station, just like every year. We've just completed pump testing to test all of our apparatus. Everything turned out well. We're scheduling a hose testing. We do these things every year. As always, our EMS and fire runs continue to go up, but we're handling it well.
It's going back. The open house is what day?
Open house is October 1st. It's a Sunday from
Right.
12 to 4. We decided not to have it over. There's a holiday on the following Monday, so we didn't want to interrupt that holiday.
And it's on your social media. It's on Township social media.
Yes, sir.
And then signs go up probably soon.
We already have the sign approved, and it should be up soon, if it's not up already.
What's your roster number now?
Our roster is currently 23 active.
Thank you.
And just for the minutes, Don, if you could just provide in the minutes that the commission congratulates the promotions of the 3 gentlemen to sergeant, that would be proper. All right. Chief, what's next? Run report?
Run reports for August. We had 68 EMS calls, 16 fire calls. That includes 19 night calls overall.
Any questions with regards to the runs that are part of your packet?
Chris, I see you have a cardiac arrest, and I always ask the question, did the person survive?
So we don't always find out if they've survived. I think we had, of the cardiac arrests, I want to say there were 2 that we had return of spontaneous circulation, is what we call. We don't know if that continues all the time. We usually find out within a month or so from the hospital. They're still working on a process at the hospital to link our system with their system so that we can do follow-ups with patients that we bring into the hospital.
But Can I assume you got to the person on time and kept them alive
Absolutely.
to the
Absolutely.
hospital?
Yes,
That's
the
good.
ones that we had what we call ROSC, return of spontaneous circulation. We bring everybody to the hospital that we do CPR on, and so some of them have circulation when we get there, some of them don't. But that continues at the hospital, so they don't just stop; they continue life-saving intervention at the hospital.
Oh, I think it's good for the public to know this.
Oh,
how
absolutely.
quickly.
Yeah, we have a really high success rate in that. Part of it comes from our equipment. I know you've seen the Lucas equipment that we have. Police are carrying that as well. I'm involved with other fire departments in the community, in the area, and our police here are very involved in our CPRs and all of our medical calls. So I thank them every single day, because a lot of times we get there and they've already installed their Lucas, which is a CPR machine, onto the patient. And there's a phrase that we use, and it's time is heart muscle. So every second that we lose is another second or another so much heart muscle that they lose. So when the police are there and they're able to start that compression right away, it means the world to the resident.
Well, that's the value of our department. One other question. I noticed there was one suicide attempt. Is that a younger person or an older person?
I'm sorry, can you?
The suicide attempt. There's one suicide attempt on a younger person?
A local person, yeah, but not successful. Age was,
High or low?
I want to say it was low.
Was not successful.
I don't know.
Not successful at the attempt.
Oh, they weren't. Okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I did ask Chief Camilleri, we might have a short video on the Lucas, just so that the residents actually see how it works as well.
Oh, that would be great.
Obviously, it's a great device. It makes your job not so much easier, but it's another tool that you can use that helps.
Absolutely.
Any other questions with regards to the run report from the commission? If not, moving on to item number 3, repainting of the public safety roof and gutters. Assistant Chief?
Yes, sir, that's continuing. The roof is close to done, and the gutters have already been started, and they should be done soon.
All right. Number 4, replacement of the bottom panels of the overhead doors and hardware at the public safety building.
On Wednesday, we opened bids for that. We received one bid for each request. Do you want those proposals?
Sure.
Scheffler Painting was the first proposal. It's in your packet. And Scheffler Painting was the second proposal, also in your packet. I'm sorry, West Metro Door was the overhead proposal. So Scheffler Painting and the overhead doors are done by West Metro Door.
Are you looking for a recommendation from the commission?
Yes, sir, we're looking for a recommendation to accept these two proposals as
All right,
offered.
so those are under the action items, so we can address those when we get to our action items. Yeah, that's action item number 1. And then your discussion item number 5, repainting of all 10 overhead doors for all side door entry doors and our outdoor wall lights. That's also an action item, but can you tell the commission a little bit about this proposal?
Yes, so the 10 overhead doors that we've had, I want to say they haven't been painted, and we've tried to maintain them at least over the last 15 years. We haven't done a replacement. We're finding a lot of rust on the lower end when we spread salt. The disbursement ends up on the bottom of the doors, and it's really hard to avoid that. It collects on the edge there, and then causes rust. That's going to be true for all the side entry doors, and the outdoor wall lights are very outdated, and we want to move to something a little more modern.
Right, questions as it relates to the overhead doors, entry doors, and outdoor wall lights of the assistant chief? All right, we'll address that under action items. Number 6, EMT/FF hiring event.
Yeah, I know, I mentioned that already, but we had 2 hiring events that brought in, I want to say, half a dozen interested parties. We had 3 people apply. 2 people decided that they weren't ready for the time commitment. And like I said, one, Nicole Gall, accepted an offer from us and started EMT program already.
That's good news.
Absolutely.
What's her background?
She's actually a teacher, and she owns Custard Corner in Trenton. I'm sure everybody's tried Custard Corner. at least once.
Oh, yeah, okay.
All right, moving on. Fire marshal candidates have been interviewed. That is true. I sat on the selection committee with the township manager, Chief Camilleri, and I forgot the one
Former
other.
Chief Murdoch.
Thank you, Chief Murdoch, or former Chief Murdoch. Three great candidates, all internal candidates. They're all qualified. We will make a recommendation through the assistant chief this evening, but that process went very well, and again, all very qualified individuals to fill Kevin Langley's position that he held prior to his departure. Number 8, discuss the purchase of forcible entry trainer door from Firehouse Innovation.
So we have, as you know, a variety of different firefighters have come to us with lots of different backgrounds. One of our firefighters, James Absher, comes from another side of the country, and in his area they had what we call a trainer door, and this trainer door is a steel door on a steel frame with replaceable hinges, replaceable locking mechanisms, but also built to withstand trainings, including K-12 saws, sledgehammers, all the different types of things that we need to make entry in a steel door. So he brought this as a suggestion to us a couple months ago, and we vetted it. This is the company that we thought was the best price with the best type of system. This system is going to be on wheels, so if you can picture just a loose door on a frame, strong enough to withhold all these different types of attacks onto it, that we can wheel out of the way and wheel back in. It'll provide us with, we think, probably 24 different types of entry attacks on a door. The benefit of this is nearly all commercial doors are going to be steel doors, and the firefighters need to be familiar with how to come into them. Specifically the schools. All of our schools have steel doors, and we need that to not be the first time that they've seen a steel door when they try to make entry. Obviously with wood doors, we just manhandle it and we make our way in.
So what do you do with this door? How do you get in?
So this door, there's a picture in your packet. There's different levels of wood, so you can use, it'll be like a slide, almost like a ramp, like a jam, and you replace it with pieces of wood inside of that, and you can use different thicknesses of wood to cause it to be more difficult and more difficult. So they would need to sledge it. There's a steel plate on the front of it to reinforce it, so when we hit it, that steel plate's replaceable for us. It's a very small amount to just replace that steel part. And then they're able to do those things. So they can cut into the wood. They can manipulate the hinges, and they can manipulate the jam to make their way in.
So the training is to teach them how to get inside one of these doors?
Correct.
Okay.
Questions of the assistant chief as it relates to the forcible entry trainer door? All right. Moving on to action items, we have 4 action items this evening. Chief, I'm going to ask on each one of them the recommendation. Obviously, it's in front of the commission, but if you could propose the recommendation, and then we'll ask for comments from the commission if there are any.
Yes, for the first action item, I'd like to recommend awarding the bid for replacement of the bottom panels and overhead door and hardware to West Metro Door.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Bletcher. Is there support?
Second.
Second by Bringard. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye. All
Aye.
opposed say nay. Motion carried. Item number 2, recommendation of awarding bid for repainting of 10 overhead doors, 4 side entry steel doors, and 22 outdoor wall lights. Assistant Chief, is there a recommendation?
Yes, sir, I'd like to recommend that bid awarded to Scheffler Painting.
In the amount of how much?
In the amount of $26,500. I'm sorry, they have it on 2 different pages.
From what I take on it was when it says a third down is 16,508, if that's a third down.
So
think
40.
Total 34.5.
It looks like 34.5 with hoist cost 14, 15, 16, 17, 44.5.
Or is it 40,005 or 41,000?
40, is it 44,005, sir?
I see a 16.5 and a 24.5, 508.
Well, I suppose this is the proposal that you're recommending, even though it's not.
I believe it's 18,000 and then 26,500. Don, is there a
Yeah, we need
a
to.
printed version of this?
Yeah, so what we need to do, it says a third down is 16,508. If that's a third down, my thought is that you're looking at 48 something. So I suppose the commission can approve this or recommend it. It still has to go in front of the township board for their acceptance of it. So whatever the dollar amount is for Scheffler Painting, you're going to place that into the motion, Dawn. Obviously, then Carl can take it to the board for whatever the dollar amount is per what is depicted on this proposal. It's not that clear to me, but it will be clear.
49,508 is what the what that totaled, based on that being a third. 49,524.
All right, so the recommendation would be to approve the Scheffler proposal in the amount of $49,524. If that number is different, then Dawn will update our minutes before it goes to the township board, and then Carl can address it at the township board if that's okay with the commission. All right?
Okay.
Makes sense. Carl, is that good?
Yes, sir. I agree.
All right, if that's acceptable, again, who brought this motion? Bringards or support?
Second.
Fletcher, questions or comments? If not, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Item number 3, recommendation on hiring the fire marshal. Assistant Chief.
Yes, sir. As we mentioned earlier, we had 3 great candidates. It was difficult to choose, but the committee that interviewed the three candidates from inside decided on Robert Roscoe, Sergeant Robert Roscoe, as the new fire marshal. My recommendation is to move forward in hiring Robert Roscoe as the new Grosse Ile fire marshal.
Is there support, or is there a motion? Moved by Jerry. Is there support?
Second.
Fletcher, just for the minutes, I think we have to indicate that we're making a recommendation to hire. It's also contingent upon him working with township management as it relates to salary and any other benefits that are applicable to that position of fire marshal.
What I would add to that, Mr. Chair, is that the fire chief has been discussing content of the job, not just as fire marshal, because Kevin Langley did so much more than just as a fire marshal. So we're going to be working on that and hope to have that done very quickly. And I will say it is an absolute pleasure to work with the fire chief. He is wonderful. So I expect to have that done within the next 2 weeks.
Good news. All right. If there's no other further questions, the motion to recommend Sergeant Roscoe is our new fire marshal. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. And again, Dawn, in the minutes, if we can just reflect congratulating him on that new position. Last item, that's action item, recommendation on the purchase of forcible entry trainer door from Firehouse Innovation.
Yes, we mentioned earlier the training door that we're asking for. I want to put forward a recommendation on the purchase of a forcible entry trainer door from Firehouse Innovation at a total of $12,585. This includes 4 extra slabs for the crush door.
Is there a motion to support that recommendation?
So moved.
Moved by Bringard, is there support?
Support.
Support by Bletcher. Obviously, this will come out of dedicated equipment monies, so that's why residents invest their tax dollars into dedicated millage to purchase something like this to train them so we can better serve our residents. So I think it's a great step. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. There are no other action items. Is there any public comment? There is none. Is
Move
there
to adjourn.
motion to adjourn by Bringard? Is there support? Support. Support by Bletcher. All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.